Hey Queens, we are back today. And did you ever feel like you were with someone controlling? Are you kind of like, I can't stand controlling men? You felt it was too much? Well, then this video is for you. We're going to be talking about the difference between a controlling man or a man that is protecting you. Obviously, if you don't want protection from a man, this video is not for you, because you would be in your masculine energy. You would be protecting your own self, aka you would be exerting your own masculine energy. But for the women in this channel, the queens in this channel, they want a man that is a protector and provider. We don't want feminine men that we have to protect. So with that being said, one of the signs that you might be in your masculine energy is that you think that men are controlling, or you seem to have this constant complaint about that. Let me just start with a little example. One of my clients, we work together, and we basically found her an absolute prince charming. Okay, this guy is a doctor. Not only is he a doctor, but he owns like half of the city's like clinics. He comes from an amazing, like really educated family. He himself is super cultured, super educated, and absolute prince charming. Like he's super pleasant. We even went together on a skiing trip, and I'm telling you, the guy is an absolute sweetheart. And of course, as it happens with pretty much all my clients, he was ready to propose to her, at the 3-month mark or so. And this woman, this client of mine, she had not healed her feminine energy wound. She was deeply in her masculine, and once you get what you want, the self-sabotage starts. Like this can happen to anyone, especially if you have to do some really deep and healing inner work. You have to want to do that. She did not want to do the inner work. She didn't want a man that wanted to protect her. So this guy, to begin with, let's give some context. Like, she's this woman who is like into fitness, and she does a lot of like photo shoots and things. And she was looking for someone to film some reels for her, like, with her and all that. And of course it was going to be a man, and the guy that was about to propose to her, he's like, let me help you. Let me hire a photographer for you, and I can come with you if you want. Like, I want to help you. And she absolutely lost it. She's like, oh my God, he's so controlling. Like, I can't stand that. And just things like that, right? Like, I'll get more into the examples. And I'm like, no. He's just being protective of you. Like, that's all. Like, of course, he can't really stand the thought of you being photographed half naked, with other men around you. Is that too hard to fathom? Like, for one, what the hell are you doing taking half naked photos? But okay, you're into fitness, but sure. And of course, he would do other things, like I just can't remember at this point, but other little things like that, where he offered help and he wanted to come with her, or and I'm not talking about wanting to come with her like every time or anything like that. Long story short, she broke up with him. And, you know, she did not think she needed to do any inner work. She didn't want a controlling man. Controlling. She's in her 40s. She's still single. We no longer work together, right? So these kinds of stories that I talk about, that they're from years and years and years ago, in the very beginning of my journey, where I would still coach women who did not want to do the work, or the inner work, or who still coach women that did not know what they wanted, right? So of course I don't do that anymore. But anyway, let's name what is a controlling man. A controlling man, if you ask me, is someone that literally has you hostage. Like, you can't, he's telling you what you can and can't do, kind of like he's your guardian or your parent. Like say, oh, you can't have any girlfriends that so and so. You can't go out with any girlfriends past 11, or I'm just trying, I've never dealt with this, but let me just, or like, I will only give you money if you do this and this and that. And I just thought about this example because actually my dad was kind of like that. Even though he was an absolute protector and provider, he was a bit like that, where, okay, you did this, then I'm cutting off your credit card, when we were like young, right? Like very young. So yeah, I think that can be controlling, when you are being literally controlled, right? And when someone wants to really restrict your freedom, right? But for example, a man that wants to help you, and man that wants to, and let's talk about jealousy for a minute. When you are for real, like for realsies, like you're wanting to get married and you're dating someone that you highly respect, you owe them some respect, hey? A lot of respect, in fact. So for example, my client that was still doing photo shoots, like literally almost naked, right? I get it that she was, that's something she did in the past, to show her pictures on Instagram, whatever. And no, she didn't do this for a living, right? I get it that this was her thing at some point, but when you're seriously wanting to get married and you are gonna meet the family of your future fiance and stuff, like, really, like, you're taking photos of yourself half naked, and you don't want a guy to be jealous? Like, you don't want your fiance to be jealous? So what I'm saying is, don't do things that are going to make your fiance jealous. Why are you doing things that are making your future husband jealous? Like having 1,000 guy friends. How would you feel if he had 1,000 girlfriends? So that kind of stuff, it can lead to a lot of resentment, and it can lead to a lot of issues. So you shouldn't need a husband or a man to tell you, please don't have 1,000 guy friends, or even any for that matter. Like, Should I make a video about friendship between men and women? The men that I have as friends, they're freaking gay. They're freaking gay, or they're like 50 years younger than I am. You know what I mean? And that can be counted like, what is it, one or two kind of male friends that I have, right? One of them gay, the other one is like a child to me. So going back to the topic, and you know, I'm making this little side note about jealousy because I bumped into clients that are like, hey, like he's being controlled, like he's being like, you know, the jealous controlling type. I'm like, well, how would you feel if he did the same thing you're doing, right? So I mentioned some examples of like what is controlling, if you ask me, right? And then we have when you don't want to receive. You don't know how to receive, aka you're in your masculine energy. You don't know how to receive protection from a man. Okay? So you can't have it both ways, where you want a protector and provider man that is super masculine, and then you're asking him to do feminine things, which is to not protect you. Okay, so what do you want? You want a masculine man, or do you want a feminine man? Because there's plenty of feminine men out there if you're still in your masculine, right? So when you don't know how to receive protection is when you're constantly rejecting any help from your man. Or I've kind of mentioned this example before. My husband, he loves to drive me around, either because I am a terrible driver, which I'm not, or because he wants to be protective, either of me or the car. I don't know, whatever, right? So I'm gonna take it as he's being protective of me, right? So he loves to drive me around. If I have nail appointment, if I'm going to the just anywhere, he'll be like, I'll drive you. Okay, right? So if I was not, and you know, these are silly things that don't matter, right? I can drive myself, but sure, if you want to do it, like, sure, go for it, right? Those are little ways in which you can receive a man's protection. Or let's think about other examples. Even money, right? So if you are in a marriage, right, or whenever you do get married, right, if you are with a proper protector and provider, right, these are responsible men. So unless you are with Rockefeller or a billionaire or a multimillionaire, the concept of budgets will have to exist. That means it's not a bottomless pocket, perhaps spending too much money on jewelry or on designer bags, right? It's not going to be possible in a literal sense. If you are with a responsible man, perhaps there will be an allotted budget for designer items, but hopefully a much bigger budget for investments, be it stocks or real estate or whatever. So if he tells you, we don't have more budget for this, and you cannot allow the containment of your husband or your man, because this is part of their masculine containment or protection, because he's protecting you not only physically, but financially and emotionally. And this is a huge topic, right? Protection doesn't come in the way of something just material or something, superficial. It's a very profound, in fact, it is the most profound quality of the masculine, that he contains you emotionally. He has to contain the family, the household financially, right? And part of that can be, no, we can't be spending all our money on like designer bags, right? That's one for me. so so if you were like not in receptive mode, you would like argue about it. If you are receiving that containment and protection, you would understand that there's budgets for things, right? Or what else could be a common example? It's hard for me to think because my husband is not controlling whatsoever. He can be protective. But again, I'm not someone to have all these male friends, so I've never really put myself in a situation where the man would be jealous or anything like that, right? So if you, like, again, if he's literally restricting your life in a serious way, your freedom in a harmful way to your psyche, this is controlling, right? And I'm talking about like serious things, not like he wants to drive you or he wants to come with you or he wants to walk you somewhere. Or I hope I'm giving enough examples, because again, this is not a thing for me, but I've seen it with some of my clients where they'll complain about a man being controlling when he's not being controlling. He is trying to contain you, trying to protect you, right? Containment and structure around you is literally part of the masculine, the kit that comes with them, right? So please understand that you can't really have it both ways, right? If you want a masculine man and you don't want him to be protective of you, then it's like saying, if I'm a man, I'm saying I want a feminine woman, but I don't want to provide for her. So if you're like that as a man, go get together with a feminist woman, right? The ones that are all about men and women are equal and you shouldn't pay a thing for me and I don't need you and all that stuff, right? So you would have to be the reciprocal match, the energetic match to a masculine provider man by receiving his protection. If it doesn't really affect you, if it's not like life-threatening to you or like serious stuff, allow a man to protect you. Like, who cares? For example, if my husband drives me everywhere because he wants to, who gives a fuck? Like, literally. It's even more convenient for me. Sure, some women, it's their me time. Like, you can find other times that are your me time instead of rejecting protection. Or, I don't know, you can, I wouldn't say compromise somewhere else, but one of the the biggest thing about long-term relationships and marriages, fight your freaking battles. or pick your freaking battles, right? If you can't pick your battles and you're being petty about because he wants to come with you to a photo shoot, like literally pick your battles, because there's just a lifetime of moments that you can choose to continue to fight or allow and lean back. So anyway, that's a bit of what I think. But let me know in the comments what, because there was one of our dear subscribers that reminded me to do this video. So let me know in the comments what to you feels controlling. And I don't know if after seeing this video you might reconsider, but let me know what it is that you find controlling. And another thing, right? If you are the individual type in human design, or if you're someone that is very introverted and want to be more alone and all these things, that's a different topic. It's a bit of a different topic, but you may want to consider receiving protection and containment if, again, this is a more a deeper topic if you are the very individual type like I am, for example, but my husband is too, so we have that in common, so we don't have an issue there. But anyway, ladies, let me know in the comments what you think is controlling and if this resonates. So I'll see you guys soon.